or transient seasonal population. Wag namang sobrang remote siya na hindi siya ma-access or hindi siya accessible for your target or niche market. Another, your beach resort should have an access to major roads para mas madali nga siyang mapuntahan ng mga turista. Minimum water temperature in the upper or in the summer season, 60s during the swimming season. Warm, sunny conditions before and during the season to warm the water and attract swimmers and sunbathers. Pero wag naman sobrang hot, it might drive away yung mga possible or prospect swimmers and sunbathers ninyo. Also, a desirable site, water quality needs to be analyzed before and after the development para makita natin yung impact, total impact ng development doon sa beach resort area ninyo. Coastal sites, the biggest problem facing developers of coastal resorts is shoreline and beach erosion. As a result of problems caused by development along the coastline, regulations tend to restrict building to 200 feet or so from the beach. Or yung sinasabi ko kanina, that from the seashore, you have to have a certain measurement, seashore up until the back beach up until yung coastal area natin. And the last one for the development process is the evolution. So we will be using this model. At first, no tourism is present. Wala pang nakakita nun except yung mga locals. Some kind of settlement, however, is connected by a road. So, as in, hindi pa na-discover yung area na yon. So, that's the first step of evolution. The second phase or the second step would be explorative tourism. Dito na nagkakaroon ng paunti-unting adventurous tourists. With independent itineraries, ibig sabihin wala pang mga hotels near the beach resort. However, contact between visitors and locals during this phase is high already. Kasi, sabi ko nga kanina, walang hotels, pero may mga transient. May mga transient homes na ang may-ari would be the locals. The third one would be major changes begin with the development of the first hotel. Strip development along the beach occurs, which with each additional property bringing in more visitors, thus creating the need for additional facilities. Like, for example, they need a restaurant, they need a bar, a coffee shop. So, yun yung mga additional na mga facilities that would serve the needs of the visitors. Next, land next to the beach becomes built out and more hotel development takes place away from the recreational resorts that attracted visitors in the first place. A second road parallel to and some distance away from the beach is built, improving access to businesses farther inland. So, papalayo na ng papalayo yung development. Papalayo na ng papalayo from the beach. In the final stage of development, the resort becomes a city already with a recreation business district and a commercial business district. So, yun yung nangyayari kay Boracay. Na, thank God, Boracay was saved before it was totally destroyed. So, that would be for our development process. Now, let's go to Marinas. Marinas, let's talk about the development process of marinas. The first one, you have to analyze the market. Taking into account the area's economy, analyze both demand and competitive supply. Analyze the demand. Meron kayang tatangkilik? Kung meron man, malapit ba doon sa area kung saan gusto mong ipatayo yung marina? So those are the questions you have to ask yourself in analyzing the market. Another, competitive supply. Do you have, if your business requires some supplies, how hard it is for you to have an access to that supply? For example, you need some equipment. Gaano kahirap sa'yo para makamit or ma-access yung equipment na yon? Will it come from the US? Will it come from Southeast Asian country na mas malapit? So those are the questions. The second development process in Marina would be develop a market strategy. Now you know who your market is, who your target market is. You have to develop a specific market strategy that will really attract that specific target market. So the next one, identify the site. In identifying the site, you have to create your site development plan. Ang site development plan na tinatawag natin, this would be yung plot ng buong site mo. Kung saan mo ilalagay yung hotel, kung saan mo ilalagay yung activity area, kung saan mo ilalagay yung relaxation area if you have, kung saan mo ilalagay yung iba't ibang facilities mo. The next one, perform feasibility analysis and preliminary design. This involves conducting an in-depth financial feasibility study, including an analysis of cash flow. Do you need more investors or not? So those are the questions you have to ask yourself in performing feasibility analysis. So the last one is, since everything is ready already, you know who your market is, you know how to target those market, you already know what facilities or what buildings to build, and you have the capacity, you have the financial capacity to execute the plan, then you have to design and develop the marina already. You have to create detailed construction photos. Dito na kayo mangangailangan ng architect and engineers. So aside from the development process, we will be talking about onshore and offshore of marina development. Onshore, the major concern regarding onshore facilities is ensuring enough space. Make sure you have enough space for onshore activities. Mag-water skiing ka pero sobrang liit lang parang swimming pool lang pala yung marina, yung water area ng marina resort mo. That could not be. Hindi pwede yun. The guideline is that the land space should be equal to water space. So 1:1 dapat siya. Kung 1 hectare yung land space mo, dapat 1 hectare din yung katumbas ng water space mo. So the land on which onshore facilities will be built should be above the floodplain and have enough bearing capacity to support construction of necessary facilities to accommodate yung mga water activities mo. Next, you have the offshore. Two especially important aspects of offshore development are water depth and water level fluctuations. So the minimum depth for a marina is 8 feet below the low water datum. Anything less than 8 feet limits the number and type of craft that can be accommodated. So dredging to increase depth is a possibility, but it is very expensive. On the other hand, if the basin is too deep, it may not offer sufficient protection for moored boats. So in addition, deep basins limit the pier designs that can be accommodated. So marinas require a stable level of water throughout the year. So kahit na El Nino or La Nina, make sure that the level of water in a marina is stable. Differences in water levels due to tides, storms, rain, and ice flows must be noted and their impact determined. Water stagnation and pollution, of course, from fueling operations will result in water quality problems if water flow is insufficient. So you have to maintain also yung water quality in a marina. Lalong-lalo na if the marina is not a free-flowing water, so you have to consider that one. So basis for marina development, a marina can be private, public, or joint venture. It might serve as the base for hotels and concessions. Profits in such arrangements are dependent on income from concessionaires, who often manage both lodging and food and beverage facilities. So one example would be Pier 66 in Florida. You may check it out via the internet. So that would be the end of our discussion for module number 2. For any questions, you might message me via GC, yung dun sa GC natin. So if I will answer, everyone could benefit from the answer. So for the learning activity, you have activity number 2, planning a marina. You have to read this one, or you may have a further reading from this source, and then you have to answer this question. You only have to answer one question. What additional procedures might be necessary when constructing a marina in a particular sensitive area? So this activity will be due on Friday at 6 p.m. Aside from that, you have to make your assignment also. You have to make your assignment. Your assignment is entitled Legal and Policy Context in Marina Development in the Philippines. So the direction, you may either do this assignment in a digital form, Word file, or handwritten as long as readable po ang penmanship ninyo. Research the rules, laws, and guidelines in developing a beach resort in the Philippines. So you may use Boracay as your reference guide in researching the rules, laws, and guidelines in developing a beach resort in the Philippines. Again, this is due on Friday, 6 p.m. For this chapter, we will not be having a quiz, but you have to submit your activity and your assignment before the due time or the due date. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great week ahead.